Hi guys, welcome to episode 21 of the Tez Talks Q&A series 2. I'm in a constant flow with my relationship. Um, we are it's just ever evolving. I think when you're in a relationship with another human being, you just constantly have to be working on it. And we never get to a point where we're like, oh, that's it. We're in the best place. Let's just stop here. It's just a process that's constantly evolving. So Mark and I practice rigorous honesty. So that's something that Mark has learned through his sobriety program, which is just being 100% honest with one another. And it's about that open and clear communication. So I always know if he's having moments of insecurity, if he's feeling a little off, if energetically he's low, because he's going to talk to me about it, and vice versa. So that's really important. We also have a few tools that we utilize during the week to make sure we're checking in and that we are pillars of strength for one another, but also just being really good, a really good partnership and a really good team. So those are when the children are asleep, we will take a moment and we usually hold hands. And sometimes we'll say like with love and compassion, and he'll say with love and compassion. And then one of us gets to speak for 15 minutes. And sometimes you can light a candle. Just symbolically, you light a candle and it's that person's turn to speak without you interjecting or putting your opinion on them or trying to fix what it is they're saying or getting defensive. They're allowed to say whatever it is that has come up for them this week, how they're feeling, what they're navigating through. And then, we blow out the candle after the 15 minutes, then I light it, and then it's my turn to speak. And we love to do that. That's something that we try and do once a week. And then at night time, we just have check-ins. Mark will say something like, baby, I need you. This is what I'm going through right now. Or I'll say, this happened today and I'm feeling really crappy. Can you help me pull myself out of this feeling? And it's great because it's really, really open. And we talk about everything, every vulnerable thing. We're just open books with one another. And sometimes it's the most sexy thing to be that intimately close to another human being, to just know the ins and outs of who they are and what they're doing and what their feelings are, even if they seem completely irrational or if it's a trigger point for you. You have to really give them the space to just be a human being and accept them, flaws and all. Everyone is a human being and we're all trying our very best. And so to be loving and to really hear your partner without coming in and overanalyzing, I think is integral. I have the tendency, when my husband comes to me with a problem, I have the tendency to say, all right, this is how you're going to fix it. You should speak to this person, you should do that. I think that you're not doing this enough. You should, blah, blah, blah. Have you been doing your meditation? You should go to an AA meeting. You should, I'll come in with my opinions. And that is a part of my own damage. My own damage is being a leader, wanting to control, wanting to be in charge, wanting to make sure everything feels good and right and succinct and happy. And that is my own stuff that I'm trying to navigate through. So recently, we both have this Buddhist meditation teacher, George, who we speak to on a regular basis. And recently I said, can you help me figure out a way to, even if I'm just burning up inside to give him my opinion, how to just leave it open and let him just marinate in those feelings without being judged or analyzed by me at all. And so George suggested that I just say, wow, I hear you. That sounds really, really hard. I'm so sorry you're having to navigate through that. What is it that you need from me so I can help you in this situation? So it's like I've been trying to use that, like giving him the reins to lead me, to tell me what he needs. And sometimes he does need me to come in with an opinion. I remember I did it a couple of weeks ago and I was like, wow, that sounds really hard. I hear you. Full stop. And Cassandra's laughing over there because she knows my husband so well. Mark's like, what else? You need to tell me something. What else should I do? And I was like, I hear you. That's really hard. He's like, no, I need more from you. Like, you can't just say, I hear you, it's hard. Like, I need to hear more. So in that moment, I was really trying on this new idea of not interfering by trying to fix him. But he actually told me that he really needs my advice and he needs my ideas and my suggestions. So I handed him the reins, which was really important. So that's something that we do a lot. Another thing that we do is when, when you start to get kind of irritable with each other. Sorry, I'm like fixing my earring right now. Oh, ow. When you get really irritable with each other and everything that they do annoys you. This happens with me, with Mark. I'll be like, "Ugh!" Like he just rang me right then and I was in the middle of Tez Talks and I was like, what do you want? And he's like, I just wanted to tell you that I made some money. I went gambling last night in Las Vegas and I made some money. I was like, cool, I'm doing Tez Talks, so let's talk about that when you get home. Woo! So even little moments like that, you have to laugh about. And just I appreciate that about him, like just the random phone calls to tell me some things that he could probably tell me in person. Or he'll just text me random things. Sometimes he'll just text me the word baby. And I'll be like, what? Baby what? So it's all the little parts of them that is, it's what makes them who they are. And they need to be celebrated and embraced for that. And then we have this other rule that when one of us is feeling angry or we're both feeling angry, I learned this in my spiritual mums class the other day. It's like you take your fist like this, and this thumb here represents your frontal lobe. So your frontal lobe has to do with, the fight, flight, freeze. So frontal lobe is a lot of the primary emotion. So the anger and the sadness and the acting out. So when you're in a fight, you're immediately like this because you're stressed out and you're just like in this section. So when you're in this place, you can have rational thinking, you can actually like process your feelings, you can have secondary emotions, which is like really analyzing a situation and then like thinking about your reaction to that situation and where your emotions are. So this is rational mind, this is irrational mind. So whenever we're fighting, we're like this. And so then once we both flag that we're in this place, we take a beat, and even if it's an hour later, when we're back down here, then we can come and meet each other and say, hey, like, I was really triggered by this, and can you help me figure out why we were steered off course in this way? So that's another rule we have. I hope all of that has been helpful. So this is fantastic, and then also all the candle stuff is amazing. And you have to really listen to that person and not butt in. It's really important because I am someone who's like, oh, but wait. And then I have to remember that it's his space to talk and I'm just accepting and listening in. And just embracing them for who they are, all the little parts of them that you love and parts of them that annoy you. Even those bits are the parts that we should be loving too. So, yeah, there's that question. Thank you very much. Oh man, I have to have so many media cleanses. I was in this really strange state a couple of months ago where I was reading articles written about me that would pop up on my Twitter. And I would read them, and there were these passive aggressive little digs at me and about my Tez Talks, and someone coming in and writing an article about how Teresa believes in manifesting, and Teresa's put on this much weight during her pregnancy, and Teresa complains about this during pregnancy, and none of it was based on anything like authentic or real, or was a true representation of my spirit and who I am. And I remember taking that on so hardcore, and I was so mad because I felt misrepresented. I was like, the people who watch my Tez Talks, they know my spirit, they know who I am. I really believe in these things. I'm not trying to preach it to the world. I'm just, for anyone interested, they can watch Tez Talks and we can connect in that way. And I'm a seeker. I'm not saying I know all the answers. And I got on the defensive. And, when they were writing about my baby weight that I had written about on my Your Zen Mama blog, I was so defensive because like the underlying like message of that article was that she's put on too much weight, she's getting too big. So I really had to step back and check in with my emotions and my feelings and the way I was being portrayed in the media, and recognize that none of it mattered. I couldn't let any of it in. And in the same way that the media get to control what we see, the information we learn, the stories we hear about, they get to control all of that. So I tend to stay away from any of that kind of newsy, gossipy kind of stuff because I find it toxic. I can take my own journey, finding out what's going on in the world and doing research. And there are some news sites out there that really focus on positive stories, which I think we need more of, because there is so much suffering, there is so much pain in the world, and it's constantly being thrown at us. And it's hard to, especially if you're a sensitive person, it's hard to not be affected by that. And I would take it on board. I remember I was seeing all this like animal abuse stuff recently, and I would just cry and cry and cry about it. And I was so affected. And I did my part. I donated money. I tweeted about it. I raised awareness. And then I had to let go of it because I was sitting in this negative feeling surrounding these poor, innocent animals suffering. And it was detrimental to my spirit, and it was really affecting me. So I have to put up boundaries with the media and really step outside of some of the messages that they're giving us. And I think there is a beautiful place for the media and for news media and news journalism. And I'm appreciating that there is starting to be more of an awareness surrounding consciousness and talking about things that are uplifting and encouraging for people, because we need it right now. We need that in society. There's too much of that other stuff. And the world still is beautiful despite the fact that there is so much darkness. There are beautiful, miraculous things happening every day. And we need to make sure that we are tapping into the light so that we can continue to live our lives in that manner. Not being blinded, not turning our backs on the atrocities that are going on in the world, but also being open to knowing that there is hope, there is change coming, there is something to be excited and happy about. So that's kind of how I handle all that sort of stuff. And thanks, Hidden Kearney. Thank you. You always show up for us, and you always are writing in and sending questions and being good support. So appreciate you. Okay, guys. Mwah. I'll see you next week. Bye.